What's up everyone, it's Kajani with a crafting and gathering guide for patch 7.3. This guide will go over all things new in the world of crafting and gathering, as well as how to craft the new crested gear set and gold thumbs tools. So let's get started. The Summertide Glam is the newest crafted glamour set introduced in 7.3. This set is perfect if you are attending an in-game wedding or any type of formal affair. One of the crafting materials needed to craft it is the Summerlight Linen, which most likely drops from treasure map dungeons. And that's all we got for crafted glamour. Unfortunately, there are no new primal glamour weapons released in 7.3. Let's hope they make a return in 7.4. One surprise, however, is that you will have to do some fishing in order to get the Sunray Ray Minion. The fishing location is the westbound Zorgor, but the optimal baits and possible fishing windows are still being worked out. Overall, this is pretty cool because it's been a long time since we've had a minion that you can acquire via fishing. All of the quality of life updates for crafting and gathering involve cosmic exploration, so let's go over the highlights. You can now access Sinus Ordorum using the Aetheryte and Bestway burrows. All you need to do is click on the Aetheryte, then select Sinus Ordorum. Once you get there, we can now use mounts. Unfortunately, we can't fly, but this is definitely progress. Once you get into the main area of the lunar base, they've added a retainer bell. You can now purchase a bunch of items normally found on the script exchange using your Cosmo credits. There are a lot of good things to purchase, including Levenchrome Aethersand, which will be used in endgame crafting recipes from now and up until the end of the expansion. As promised, the Cosmic Exploration Aetheryte tickets are here too. The tickets will take you directly to Driving Way. Driving Way is going to be how we're going to get to any of the planets that we visit in the future. For gathering, they added icons next to stellar missions to indicate how far away the stellar mission is. The length of the arrow determines the distance of the mission. Alright, so let's check this out. This is a blue short arrow, so the stellar mission is really close. This is a yellow arrow. Let's see where this is at. That one's kind of far. Alright, and then this is a red longer arrow, so let's see where this one's at. Yeah, that one's way out there. Okay, so yeah, this is really good. I really like this improvement. My favorite quality of life addition is that the GP you spent and the cordial timer is reset upon completion of a gathering stellar mission. I did a quick mission, and as advertised, I got my GP back and the cordial timer reset upon completion of the mission. Definitely a good quality of life update. This is going to make leveling as well as getting achievements much easier. As expected, 7.3 introduced two endgame foods that buff the stats for crafting and gathering classes respectively. The Pebre should end up being the go-to crafting food buff since it provides the highest increase to control. Let's go over how to craft the new crested gear and gold thumb tools, starting with the new crafting materials that were released in 7.3. Mason's Abrasive can be purchased from the script exchange for 500 purple crafting scripts. If you plan on crafting a full set of crested gear, along with all the gold thumb tools for both your crafting and gathering classes, you're going to need 117 abrasive, which comes out to 58,500 purple crafting scripts. Cordia Sap and Desert Lapis Ore are two new crafting materials introduced in 7.3, both of which can be gathered from legendary nodes. Garland Bell is my go-to tracker and it has already been updated. To track the ephemeral nodes for Levenchrome Aethersand, just click 7.0 then Ephemeral. Garland Bell will display how you can farm the new Aethersand using your botanist and miner. You can also get Levenchrome Aethersand via fishing for the purple palette. The purple palette is located in Kozamaku, and the optimal bait to use are red maggots, which can be purchased with your orange gathering scripts from the script exchange. Surprisingly, there is not a spearfishing method to farm Aethersand. Let's go over the crafting macro for the 5130 difficulty recipe used to craft the Craftsman's Tri-Solution and Desert Lapis. Alright, the crafting macro is going to start with a muscle memory, which is going to help us buff progress. then a manipulation, which helps us save durability along the way, then a veneration, which is also going to buff our progress increasing actions. Then we're going to follow that up with a Waste Not 2, which is going to help us save durability or conserve durability along with manipulation. Our next job action we're going to use is Groundwork, which is going to be buffed by the Veneration and Muscle Memory. After this Groundwork, we're going to follow that up with 2 Delicate Synthesis, which is going to increase progress as well as quality. And the increases to progress will be buffed by our last 2 steps of Veneration. Alright, so let's officially start our quality phase, starting with an Innovation. The Waste Not 2 and the Manipulation are going to help us save durability along the way. So to increase quality, we're going to do 4 Preparatory Touches, and then along the way, it's going to be giving us 2 stacks of Inner Quiet. So after we are done, we will end up with 10 stacks of Inner Quiet. Alright, since we're at 10, we can start thinking about doing our finisher. We're going to do Master's Mend first, since there's no durability left. Now we're going to do Great Strides, then Innovation. Together, they're going to buff this next Preparatory Touch. Alright, Preparatory Touch. Then we're going to do another Great Strides here, and then Beer God's Blessing. After Beer God's Blessing, that's going to take us to 100% high quality chance. So you can see that in the efficiency calculations window. Our quality finisher is more than enough to bring us to 100%. So let's use Beer God's Blessing, see that 100%, and now Careful Synthesis to finish up the craft, and we are done. For the 10,080 crafting macro, you will have to use high quality pre-craft materials, so be mindful of the starting quality. For example, if you've melded with the high tier Everseeker set, you will need a minimum starting quality of 4,613. This comes out to 3 high quality materials for an accessory, or 4 high quality materials for something like gloves. Unfortunately, there's no way to get to the exact number since the high quality values vary depending on what you're crafting. The crafting macro starts with a Muscle Memory, which is going to buff our next progress action. We are going to follow that up with a Trained Perfection, which is going to reduce durability loss of the next action to 0. So we're not going to lose durability on the next action. So the Muscle Memory and the Veneration are going to buff this Groundwork, and since we had Trained Perfection, we're not going to lose any durability, which is amazing. To take advantage of the Veneration buff, we're going to do 2 Delicate Synthesis, which is going to increase progress as well as quality. And we also, as a bonus, we get 2 stacks of Inner Quiet since we increase quality. Speaking of quality, we're going to enter into our quality phase, which is going to be pretty long. It's going to start off with Innovation and now a Prudent Touch. Then we're going to do our 1, 2, 3 quality combo of Basic Touch, Standard Touch, then Advanced Touch. This is going to bring us really low as far as durability is concerned. So we're going to use Immaculate Mend to restore all durability. So we're back to 70. Alright, so let's continue to increase some quality. So Innovation, we're going to do Prudent Touch, and then a Basic Touch, follow that up with Standard, and then Advanced Touch. And after that Advanced Touch, we are at 10 stacks of Inner Quiet. So we're getting close to completing the craft. So let's continue by using Great Strides, then Innovation. Together, those are going to buff our next Preparatory Touch. So Preparatory Touch here. Alright, and then now we can pretty much do our quality finisher. I think I got a good condition, which is why I'm already at 71%, but you know, that's okay. So let's continue with the crafting macro. So I'm going to use Great Strides, then Innovation is already active, so I'm just going to go ahead and do Beer God's Blessing. That's the value of my quality finisher. That's definitely going to take me to 100%. So here we go, Beer God's Blessing, 100%. I'm at 5 durability, so I'm going to use the GOAT, Immaculate Mend, and from here, Veneration, and then I'm going to use Groundwork, and that should be enough to take me home. So that's 1 Groundwork, that's 2, that's 3, and actually I'm going to use Careful Synthesis, and that's going to be enough. Alright, so that's all I got for this crafting and gathering guide for patch 7.3. I hope you found everything in this guide useful, from the information to the crafting macros. I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.